And welcome back. Welcome back into the television version of Strategies for a Living. I'm marriage and family therapist David McMillan. I'm delighted that you've tuned in. Join with me today here on Strategies. You know, we're all about helping us live healthier, happier, more peaceful lives. Body, mind, spirit, relationship. Some days we get lucky. We hit all of them. Today's one of those days because one of my favorite people, you would not know it. You would not know that if you had heard the bannering in just a few minutes ago, but he is one of my favorite people, Tom Pace. And he is the Pace of broadcasting.
Oh my gosh.
In Shreveport, Bossier City. He's been on the air and around radio since the year one.
Well, no, it's actually, let's tell the Lord the truth, it's 65.
1965, that's a long time.
But I was on the air back in 55 as a young child.
You can hear him every day on The Promise, 90.7. His program is an excellent one, and that's why I say it hits body, mind, spirit, relationship. It's called The Talk of the Town, and it's at a new time. We're going to talk about that today.
So 3 to 4 o'clock every afternoon.
Why did you move? Because we were used to you at 5 o'clock.
I know that. Well, there's a long story that takes too long to explain, but don't forget it's 90.7 FM.
Okay.
Please.
All right.
Get it right, David.
I'm gonna try, Tom, and then you can hear you also on the web.
At promisetalkradio.org. But I now have a brand new paradigm, as everybody can see the live video Facebook feed of our event. Every day we will have a live video Facebook feed of the radio show.
And is that on ShreveTalk.com?
Well, technically what it's on is it's on the Facebook video, which is Tom Pace, it's Talk of the Town.
How did you start doing what you do?
Well, you mean in radio period?
No, I'm talking about specifically the Talk of the Town, because Talk of the Town has been around now for, gosh, what, 15, 20 years?
Well, for me, but if you remember who originally did it.
Oh, of course I do. Ed Sullivan. Yeah, of course.
Can we say that in unison again?
Ed Sullivan. It's in stereo.
That's right, and in each ear. And so, yes, it was the Talk of the Town with Ed Sullivan, and then I lifted that when they asked me to come by Cumulus and start doing a broadcast there, and they said you can name it anything that you want.
Well, why not Talk of the Town?
And I said Talk of the Town with Tom Pace.
Okay, so each day you have everybody on from United States senators.
Yes.
I wouldn't even be surprised if I tune in one day and there's the president or the vice president.
I am
there.
working on that, David, but right now he's got another agenda. He's taking on the NFL and everybody else.
Yeah, he doesn't have time for
he doesn't have
Talk
time
of the
for
Town.
me. But I'll tell you who's going to be on today.
Who's that?
Well, I have our congressman. 2 congressmen actually going to be on.
Mike Johnson?
Mike Johnson will be on because he was here at Bipsy, and I was here for the Service Academy Day.
Right.
I showed up actually at 8 in the morning to get an interview with him. 8 in the morning on a Saturday. Today is Monday, okay, day before yesterday. I'm showing up to get the interview with Mr. Johnson, Congressman, because he only has 15 minutes.
Right.
He believes in his family, and I do too.
Right.
So anyway, I had him, and today Congressman Clay Higgins. If you remember the Cajun John Wayne, before he became the Cajun congressman down in South Louisiana, he's going to be on live. And just the other day, on Friday, I had Senator Bill Cassidy.
You were telling me a fascinating story about that, and of course, in the news right now, we all know that Senator Cassidy, among others, but
Lindsey
he came
Graham.
up with Lindsey Graham and Senator Cassidy are doing a last-ditch effort to try to alter our health care in this country. So they've introduced a bill, and so they're incredibly busy,
and also very busy.
And you get what, 15 minutes with Senator Cassidy?
Well, here's how it started. I got with Sean Hanscom, who is his communications director, last week. And I don't mean like this was supposed to occur Friday. I mean like the week before.
Right.
Sean said, I can give you 20 minutes with the senator. 3:05.
That's
Central
pretty good.
Time.
Yeah.
I said, great.
Takes up a lot of your show.
Well, I had to bump out guest
Right.
to make that available. And so coming up on Friday, everybody thinks this is an easy thing. I book, I produce, I run the board, and I answer the phone.
Well, you make it look, Tom, you really do make it look easy. And you do a lot, you do a lot of roles within broadcasting, within your program.
Yeah.
And I think I think this is a good thing for all of us to be hearing, particularly the students, because you really do make it look easy.
And I do, but
it's not easy.
Oh, let me tell you. Let me tell you how it can throw you a curveball. Just before I go on the air, about 2 hours,
Right.
I get a call from Sean Hanscom. Tom, you're only going to get 10 minutes with the center.
You were expecting 20.
20.
And you would bump guests out of the way, so
he
you were
said,
expecting to fill 20
you're gonna
minutes.
Get 20, you'll get 10.
Right.
I said, fine. So then I get another call just about an hour before I'm on air. Tom, I'm sorry. I said, if you tell me that I'm not going to have Senator Cassidy, I am not going to be a happy camper. He said, well, sadly, there's so much going on, we've had to cancel all radio interviews.
Right. And if you know anything about media and you watched the evening news on Friday, you know why. You know what was going on. So that's the backdrop.
That's the backstory. So I'm sitting there 1 hour before air, learning that Senator Cassidy cannot be on my show, and I'm having to scramble to have. I mean, if I would have thought about it, I could have called you, and you could have come in.
That's right.
I mean, and you're a very well versed man, and I admire you for what you do, David, and I mean, I honestly do.
But you didn't think about me, so
No,
that's
at that
good, because
point-
I was napping on Friday afternoon, so
Well,
I'd have been upset if
At
you'd
your
have called me.
age, I understand.
You have to have those
Okay,
afternoon
yeah, you
naps.
do. And so, I'm 70, by the way, and I don't have to. I just get a Red Bull and I'm gone.
There you go.
So anyway, at 1 hour till, I'm told I can't have Senator Cassidy. So I am live on the air, and I have gotten, oh, by the way, Sheriff Steve Prater calls me up to talk about what's going on at the in front of the, wherever it is, the courthouse. He's wanting to put a fence around it. I said, Sheriff, can you call? Sure. So I get the sheriff live. And then all the while this is going on, I have two phones. That one that's doing the live Facebook video.
Right.
And my other one.
Right.
And on my other one, I see a note coming to me. And it's from Sean Hanscom. It said, Tom, Senator Cassidy can, and I did not catch all of it. So while I'm in the interview, I am on the phone calling him saying, Sean, what did you want? And he says, well, Senator Cassidy can do live if you want him to now.
He's available right now.
And this was literally 8 minutes till the end of the broadcast. I said, sure, call him. You've got the cell phone, you've got the call-in number, the hotline. He said, fine. So I'm on the air. Next thing I know, the phone rings. It's Senator Bill Cassidy.
So you closed out Friday's show.
With 7 minutes with Senator Bill Cassidy,
Wow.
and I went out, and the programmer who does our piece of equipment that puts us in and then takes us out, it leaves us at 59:24. If you're in media, you know the
Right.
seconds count. So
Right.
he leaves me at 58:47. I'm in a state of shock. I said, ladies and gentlemen, you've witnessed a miracle. A miracle in broadcasting that I have a...
Do you ever get tired of the adrenaline rush that must come with days like that? And in fact, I know a little bit about the way you do your program, so a little bit of an adrenaline rush every day. Because I know you don't overscript anything.
No, I don't, and everything is extempore.
Right.
I mean, and when I have guests in, I never use notes.
Right.
I have read their background, their bio. I'll make sure I write their name down because I'm big on that. Just remembering, like,
Right.
I wrote on the inside of my hand, David McMillan.
Thank you.
So anyway, just to make sure.
Just to make sure you knew,
that
yeah,
I knew
yeah.
it's David McMillan.
Yeah.
But and you know, you've been in studio before. I do it without notes.
Right.
Every time I see anybody from CBS or you name all of the ABC networks, and I didn't mean ABC, but all the alphabet networks,
Right.
you know, they've got this big notepad like this, and they're looking at everything, and, oh, just tell me.
You just took my notes away.
Well, can you not do it without notes?
I think I can.
Okay, good. Well, I'll give them back to you. So anyway, and they're always.
You never know what this man's going to do.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And that makes Suzanne very nervous, my wife.
I'm sure.
It does.
Yeah.
So, but I never use notes. I just make sure I get the names correct and their position. So I talk about you being the man behind the camera at Bossier Parish Community College that does your wonderful show and strategies for living. And we knew Mark and all of them that first started with the next step or something.
He's talking about Mark Coney is who he's talking about. When he says Mark, he's so
He's so old.
He's so old he calls him Mark.
Yeah.
Did you know, Tom? Did you know from an early age? Did you know from middle school? Did you know from high school that you were going to make broadcasting a career?
No, I knew when I was 5.
Wow.
And
5 years old.
5 years old at KOTN, KCLA in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. There was a man named Petey Gathright. He did radio remotes, and I'm sure you remember that. That was back in your day.
That was. I've done several remotes. So let's take a break here, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and Tom Pace and
thank you.
live remote broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking to the host of Talk of the Town. You can hear him every day, Monday through Friday, on The Promise, 90.7 FM, but you got to tune in at a different time now, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Mr. Tom Pace, Talk of the Town. We'll be back with Tom in just a moment. He's our life strategist today. Stay with us.
Odds of becoming an astronaut, 1 in 13,200,000. Odds of being struck by lightning, 1 in 576,000. Odds of dating a supermodel, 1 in 88,000. Odds of bowling a perfect game, 1 in 11,500. Odds of being trapped in an elevator, 1 in 24,528. Odds of catching a ball at a major league game, 1 in 563. Odds of an injury from shaving, 1 in 6,585. Odds of tripping while texting, 1 in 10. Odds of getting cancer in your lifetime, 1 in 2 men, 1 in 3 women.
It's up to us.
To change the odds for our generation.
For the ones we love.
For our future.
If you don't like the odds,
Stand up. Stand up to cancer.
I got smart about saving for college. And now my daughter's off to a great start.
When it comes to your money, whatever you want to get smart about, you can find at smartaboutmoney.org.
We got smart about loans.
And sign here. Now it's our house we're going home to.
I got smart about preparing for those unexpected challenges. Now I know at least my finances will be healthy.
Smart About Money is a free online resource. We are a non-commercial, non-profit organization dedicated to helping people just like you get information about money. For everything from how to build an emergency fund to how to deal with job uncertainty, smartaboutmoney.org has the answers you've been looking for.
I got smart about credit.
Would you like paper or plastic?
Now paper or plastic has a whole new meaning.
Smartaboutmoney.org, the easy place to start when you want to get smart about your finances.
Someone had fun today. Hey, sweetheart, everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. How's our little guy?
Now I lay me down to sleep.
Looks like I'm stuck working late tonight. Probably won't be home until closer to 8.
Oh, that's okay. I have got a laundry list of emails to send out.
I pray the Lord my soul to keep.
Yeah, he did great. We had so much fun today.
If I die before I wake.
Tried over and over.
And welcome back into Strategies for Living. Obviously, you are watching Strategies for Living today, but you know you can listen to Strategies for Living. We're on the air at News Radio 710 Keel, 1017 FM, and we've been there for 25 years.
When are you? Wait a minute.
25 years.
I listened to you Sunday morning.
You did. 9:05 to 10.
I
Yep.
listened to you.
Thank you. I
Because
appreciate that.
I
Why
know-
weren't you in church?
Because I was tired and I'm old.
Okay. We are. You can find us every Sunday morning, 9:05 to 10. You can also find us at strategiesforliving.com, and I hope you will. There's a lot of podcasts you can listen to there, and also on healthylife.net on Thursdays out of Los Angeles. So lots of ways to listen to Strategies for Living, and I hope you will. Today, on the TV version of Strategies for Living, we are lucky to have one of my buds, Mr. Tom Pace, and he is Talk of the Town on The Promise, 90.7 FM, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. every weekday afternoon, and when I can, I enjoy listening. I'm in the counseling room Monday through Thursday when you come on, but on Fridays, when I'm not napping, I'm listening to Tom Pace, 3 to 4. So,
and I shall let you know the new slogan for the new time slot.
What's the new slogan?
Pay attention now. Don't go to sleep on me.
Okay.
First news at 3, live on The Promise, 90.7 FM with Tom Pace.
Okay.
See, I beat all of the other broadcast media that are up at 4.
That's right.
I'm on at 3.
Well, you know, and in radio jargon, a lot of people don't know this, but 3 o'clock is the beginning of what we call afternoon drive time.
And not only that, because I do kids on the radio with school kids on Thursdays.
It works out.
Well, no, it doesn't. That's another story. But it's great because the parents can hear as they're driving, picking up kids and things of that. So it is a most, and we'll get into why, but I was blessed. Now I have more time after I'm off the air at 4 to attend civic meetings, public meetings, to address issues. And so I'm blessed. Now,
so
David,
we were going back to Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to the beginnings. A young Tom Pace started hanging around remote broadcast, and that's the way you started in radio and TV?
In a way, I've always...
a remote broadcast, by the way, folks, is when you're watching it in studio here, but radio stations, TV stations go out in the public, and we call that a remote broadcast.
Well, but now way back then, and let's say it was 1952, so do your math, 65 years ago.
Right.
That's right. Yeah,
you were 5 years old.
I was 5 years old. There was a young man, or a man by the name of Petey Gathright, that had a record shop. If you remember way back when, David, and I know you remember this because you're of that age, they had 45s, they had 33s.
Well, yeah, down on Texas Avenue, there's a parking lot for First United Methodist Church now, but Stan's Record Shop sat there for many years. Stan's the record man, and I can't even begin to tell you how many times I got my mother to drive me down. There would be a new 45 that would come out, whether from Elvis to the Beatles but it came out on vinyl on 45 RPM records.
And way back then,
we also had 33 1/3. We also had the album.
And then you had the great big things that were 78s.
That's right.
And you would remember that. So, and that's Stan Lewis, and he is still alive today, and I need to have him in studio, but that's another story. But anyway, at the age of 5...
Make a deal with you. You get him, and we'll do a twofer. We'll do him one Monday on television, and then send him over to you for the afternoon.
That's great, and I've got the hookup for that, so I will call and make it happen.
Good deal.
So anyway, Petey Gathright on Saturdays would do a record show. And there would be moms that were there bringing their kids. The mothers would be dressed in the poodle skirts and things like that.
Right.
And so I would go there with a little ukulele, and I would sing. And well, I mean...
So that was your first
That was my first deal.
Wow.
And not only that...
If I'd have known that, I'd have asked you to bring your ukulele today.
Well, I would... Sorry, I'd have just been stringing you along. Sorry, David.
Tom.
One of these days you're going to be as quick as the kid, okay?
I know.
All right, so anyway, so not only would I do that, but then I got to record a commercial for Smart Chevrolet in Pine Bluff.
Oh, wow, you were big time.
I was big time. I was a junior Corvette broadcaster, and I since have a certificate that says Tommy Glenn Pace
So it bit you right then.
Absolutely.
It bit you, and you knew you weren't good enough for killing after that.
And that's
you just
exactly
had,
right.
You had to be in radio and TV.
And the rest of the story is, kids, don't do this at home, please, because we are underpaid, and everybody working in the control room, and I can see them in there right now. They're all going, oh yeah, that's right. What am I doing here? I want to go to Dallas. Yeah, I see her standing up in there. And so if you work hard enough at your craft, you will be good enough to go to a major market. But I love Shreveport-Bossier.
Right.
And I love, in fact, and I told this on the air, David, before we run out of time, I must share with you what occurred the other day. Because I am a conservative Christian, one that believes in the rule of law and our Constitution.
Right.
And I'm a veteran of the Navy, and yes, I stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Absolutely.
I plan and whenever they play the national anthem.
Absolutely.
By the way, the Department of Defense has now relaxed the rules that whenever the national anthem is played, then you can actually salute uncovered, meaning you do not have to wear a hat or what they call a cover, and even inside when you're traditionally not wearing a cover, you still can salute, and they have relaxed those rules. So anyway, I believe in God, and I mean, we're not going to get political or anything, that's just my belief. And I have been known to profess that to many people from time to time. Am I on 2 or 3?
You're on wherever you want to be.
Okay, I want to be on 2.
Okay.
And so maybe the director in there can do something. So let me tell you the story. This occurred about a week ago.
Parking lot of Kroger on 70th Street.
On East 70th, the parking lot, and I know a young man that works there. His name shall remain anonymous. We have talked about his salvation for about a month, 6 weeks. He knows, he believes, but he's unsure. So I've talked to him, and he would come up to me, and I would feel honored. Mm-hmm. But remember, I am not a man of the cloth, but I am a man of Jesus.
Right.
And we're all disciples, if you get right down to it, David.
Right.
So anyway, the last time I saw him, I said, so tell me, have you come to grips? Have you accepted Jesus? He said, well, I think so. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, and he related something to me. I said, I'll tell you what, let's just talk about it for a minute. We did. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I want you to think about this for a couple of weeks, and the next time we come together, maybe you can accept him personally. He goes, okay. I turned around to go. David, it was like it was a moment. It was like the Holy Spirit moved me to come back to him, and my hand to God, I'm telling the truth. I looked at him and I said, tell me, would you mind, let's just doing that right here, right now, you, me, God, right here in the parking lot of Kroger.
No better place.
Absolutely. And so I said his name, and I said, do you believe? And I do all the things that you should say in leading a person to Christ.
Right.
But now you must understand, I've never done it mano a mano.
Right.
I've always been with someone like you or somebody that has
seen it done, been with a minister, been
right,
with a preacher.
Exactly right. I've never done it. So I am just as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rockers, man. I don't know what to do. And yet, as they say, God's got this.
Yeah.
So I take a deep breath. We do the I do's, and I said, now, so I said, do you accept and all that? He said, yes. And I said, hold my hands. And then I said, you say it. Do you? And he gave his name, and he repeats this. And I said, so now, forsaking all others, you are now a child of God. He said, thank you. And I said, amen. The angels are crying and they're singing. Let me tell you, I called Suzanne, my wife, and I said, you won't believe what I got today. And she said, $1 million.
Better.
The lottery.
Yeah, I got better than that.
And that's exactly what
I
said.
Yeah.
And I said, no, actually, I led a young boy to Christ. And I said, the feeling was overpowering. Money cannot explain it. And so, David, I mean, much as I like to joke and have a good time, we're only...
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what it's all about.
What is your tagline? If you only had 1 hour...
If today were the last day of your life, you only had 1 hour
Who would you call?
Who would you call? What would you say?
That's right.
While you're waiting.
That's exactly right.
Because we don't know.
No, I mean,
we have no idea.
I said to Suzanne, I could be French kissed by an 18-wheeler on I-20, and you know, I'm gone.
And let's hope nothing like this happens. But you don't know whether that was.
None of us do.
Whether that young man may have met his master over the weekend. You never
I don't know that.
So, folks, this is the real Tom Pace.
Yeah.
This is the reason that every weekday afternoon at 3 o'clock, in your office, in your car,
even
whatever,
on your Facebook video
on your Facebook video feed, this is why you need to tune in to the Promise 90.7 to the Talk of the Town.
90.7 FM.
90.7 FM.
Thank you.
And you can also find him at ShreveTalk.com.
Oh, and one other thing, and I don't know what is it.
We are out of time.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was just looking. I think we got 4 minutes.
If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call to make. Who would you call? What would you say? And before you do, don't forget to listen to Strategies for Living. News Radio 710 Keel. Sunday morning, it's 9:05 to 10, and at www.strategiesforliving.com. For Tom Pace, I'm marriage and family therapist David McMillan. We'll see you next time here on Strategies for Living.
Oh, you were wonderful.
Good job.